We begin in Russia, where authorities are evacuating parts of the Belgorod region in the southwest of the country. It neighbours Kursk, where Ukrainian forces launched a surprise offensive nearly a week ago. The governor of Belgorod says the evacuation is due to activity by Ukrainian forces on the border. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, an attack on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant has sparked accusations from both Moscow and Kyiv. Russia's state media reports that the main fire at the plant was extinguished in the early hours of Monday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky shared these pictures on social media. He said Russian officials who control the plant had deliberately started the fires. But the Kremlin-installed governor of Zaporizhzhia claimed the fire erupted after shelling by Ukrainian forces. The site has been under the control of Russian troops and officials since 2022. It has not produced power in more than 2 years, and all 6 of the reactors have been in cold shutdown since April. In a statement posted to X, formerly known as Twitter, the UN's nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, said IAEA experts witnessed strong dark smoke coming from Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station's northern area, following multiple explosions heard in the evening. The team was told of an alleged drone attack on one of the cooling towers located at the site. No impact has been reported for nuclear safety. Ukraine regulator Evacuations said that the likely cause of the fire was negligence or arson. Well, let's cross to Moscow and speak to our Russia editor, Steve Rosenberg. Hello to you, Steve. Reassuring, of course, that it appears that those fires at the power station are out. But is there any sense as to who would have done this? Obviously, claim and counterclaim between Ukraine and Russia, and also why?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. You've summed it up. Claim and counterclaim. I mean, the Russians say the Ukrainians did it. It was a Ukrainian drone strike on the cooling tower of the power plant. The Ukrainians say absolutely not. These suggestions by Russia are a provocation, that it was Russia that lit a fire in the cooling tower to make it look as if Ukraine had done this. But as you say, the main thing is that there is no heightened radiation level in that area, and the fire has been extinguished.
But a reminder, isn't it, that the stakes are so high for lots of different reasons, but nuclear power stations being one of them, not only there, but also in Kursk. I just want to ask you about the other news line that's coming out to us this morning, that Russian authorities are evacuating parts of the Belgorod region, which of course neighbours Kursk, and the governor saying that this is due to Ukrainian forces on the border. What more can you tell us?
It's difficult to know from here what the situation is on that part of the border. You're absolutely right. The governor of Belgorod region a short while ago said that people were being moved away from that region. I think that reflects the very complicated situation in many parts of the Ukrainian-Russian border. That goes for the Kursk region too, where, of course, this cross-border attack was launched by Ukrainian forces last week. The reaction to that here in Russia has been a mixture of disbelief and anger. And that anger being expressed most vocally by Russian pro-war military bloggers, this group which has become very vocal and very prominent, actually, over the last couple of years in Russia. They've been publicly criticising Russia's military leadership for taking their eye off the ball and for allowing potentially thousands of Ukrainian soldiers to come across and to seize territory in Kursk region.
As you say there, taking the Russians by surprise, it appears taken Western allies by surprise as well. But we did have a statement from President Zelensky saying that this was a fair Ukrainian response to actions by Russia. So it has been seen as a very interesting possible escalation, obviously, of the conflict over the last few days.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the language is very interesting here because I was watching the flagship news show on Russian state television last night, and although they did use the word invasion, they said that Ukrainian soldiers had invaded Russian territory, most of all this was being portrayed as a terrorist attack and a provocation. In other words, to an extent, playing it down or trying to present to the Russian people that what is happening right now in Kursk region is containable. And also, I think that suggests that President Putin right now doesn't want to take the next step, the next logical step, which would be, for example, a formal declaration of war against Ukraine. We have this special military operation, as Russia presents it, going on for the last 2.5 years. And I think the Russian authorities want to keep it like that. They talk about special military operations. They talk about a counter-terrorism operation now going on in 3 regions of southern Russia. They don't officially want to call this a war.
Steve Rosenberg in Russia, thank you.